Cheers. Welcome to Almost Rich, Almost Famous with Bets and Bridge. You know, I'm just going to put this out there. Every time we do that cheers, it's so loud and we just flail these things around. Guys, I wish there was alcohol in here, but there's not.
No, there's like ashes in mine. Like actual, like somebody was like smoking a cigarette in here and like ashed in my cup.
There's several pieces of wadded gum in mine, but
that's disgusting.
That's me.
Because you're disgusting.
Well, it's right before we go on air. I spit my gum in there.
And I don't, because...
Oh, no. You know, I hate to ever be critical.
I know. I didn't want to bring
I never want to be critical of Betsy because I feel like she is one of the most talented people I've ever met. However, when we were in LA at the Super Bowl, we're doing some interviews, and I'm filming her, and I'm watching her.
I actually didn't look like that. I've never looked like that in my whole life. Oh, that was the most horrifying
question for you.
Impression. I've never done that. I've never said that. I'd really like for you to reveal to me which thing you're talking about because I've never.
Yeah, I've got it on video. Oh, and I said, and I was never want to like correct her on anything or give her advice because you're so good at hosting. I was like, Bets, if I could give you any piece of advice, she's like, what? Like, maybe you should spit out your gum before you do an interview.
This is literally the most dramatic interpretation
That's
of what
how it
happened. No, you were like, I just have like one thing I want to say. I think you should spit out your gum because like you were chomping. Like, but you didn't reveal to me that like that's what you thought I looked like and sounded like.
Well, then I think I showed you and you're like, I get it.
I did. But here I am.
Well, do you want to spit it in my cup?
Yeah,
I've got a lot of gum in there. Just add to the collection.
Thanks for that.
You know, that's going to be worse than money one day. Bets and Bridge's wadded gum in the glass that we flail around.
That's probably worse than money right now. I bet we could sell that shit right now. Oh, yeah. You remember we've talked about like the girls who pee in bottles and stuff? Like that shit has been in our mouths. Like imagine how many people would like something like that.
I know. You know, and I feel like we are getting some more fans, and I know you hate it. So we've been separated for random events in the last couple of weeks. It was St. Patrick's Day. You're not really into all of that, but you did come with me, which is great. But we've been separated, and Betsy's texting me one day, and she was like, Bridget, there's a guy. He just sat next to me. He let me know he's a big fan. I'm dying. I wish you were here. I'm like, oh, my God, same thing just happened to me, and I'm having the best day ever.
And you, like, asked if he would like to take a picture with you.
Well, no. He asked and was apologizing for asking. I'm like, listen, if you're a real fan, you know that I thrive in this. So, sure, bust out the phone. Let's take a selfie right now. But in between St. Patrick's Day, All-Star Game, Super Bowl, we haven't stopped. We are continuing to travel. We are continuing to go to events. We're continuing to go to parties. We're continuing to do fun interviews. We had the Cleveland Sports Awards. So much has happened. And most of it has been great. And the one event that we thought was going to be the best of the best was, to quote Betsy, mortifying.
Mortifying. Okay, so mortifying, like when I say this is mortifying, it is like my most dramatic term. It like is reserved for times that I want to jump off a fucking cliff.
I've never heard you say that word.
Ugh.
And I knew she wasn't the happiest. And then finally I'm like, well, Bets, it's fine. Like, this is what I expected. Just get in a better mood. And she goes, Bridget, I am mortified. I am mortified. I'm like, oh, wow. She's... Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's rewind, shall we? Oh, my goodness. So Bridget and I have, like she said, we've been traveling. We've been all over the place. And we got invited to a kind of like A-listy type of party.
Mm-hmm.
And we got invited by the person who was throwing the party.
So very A-list.
Yeah. So it was like, hey, you guys should come to X. And so we're not going to reveal any names of people or places because we want to continue to get the invite. However, I'm going to decline the next one that comes from this person. But so we get invited to this party and we're like, yeah, of course we'll come. And so then we got invited by like several other people in a similar group. Like, oh my God, you guys should stop at X.
Yep.
Let's call the club X.
Yep.
You should stop by X. Great. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll be there. Like we've been wanting to talk to this specific person about business for a long time. We should totally go.
And mind you, so after we got invited by the main person throwing the event, we ran into people that run in the same circle. And the one specifically said, but Bridget, you love your B-roll. You cannot be doing that at this event. This is not a time for Almost Rich, Almost Famous. You can establish some professional relationships, but put the phone away. It's going to get checked. Mm-hmm. And I kind of laughed it off.
I laughed that shit right off.
And I'm thinking, that makes sense. These are really big people that are going to be around here. I probably will have to check my phone.
And I was like, oh my God, Bridget's so fucking annoying. I hope she doesn't do like weird stuff like this at the event. That's the extent of my thought, you know? Like, it's not like it's like, oh my God, like, okay, you're like weird. It's fine. Like, the party will be fun. We also get warned by somebody else. Not warned necessarily, but like, oh my God, yeah, you guys should totally go. I mean, I can't go because it's all girls. Like, it's only girls. And I'm like, oh. Okay, well, like, I don't know. Whatever.
And that part confused me more than the whole you're checking your phone situation. I'm like, wait a minute. So we got invited by Maine. We're going to call him Maine. That's his name. We got invited by Maine. We got invited by Bane.
And
we got invited by Train. Like, we got invited by...
We got invited by the people that we needed to get invited by. So that's why I'm just not concerned about literally anything going on.
But my concern was, what do you mean all girls? Well, obviously you guys will be able to get in. You're beautiful girls. I'm sure they'll like bypass you. And I'm like, no. We've already gotten the invite by like the Maine, the Train, and the Bane. No. Like, but I'm concerned. All girls? And like, you didn't think that part was weird. I thought that was weird. You thought the phone, you blew that off. And I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to be without our phones.
All right. Okay. And so we get to the spot. We get to X. We walk in X and they're like, are you on the list? And we're like, I literally laughed. I was like, and the person was like, no, really, are you on the list? I was like, well, I don't know. Maine invited us. So like, did he put our names on the fucking list? Like, and at this point, I'm just so irritated because I'm like, okay, like cool guy, like relax. And then this lovely 20-something lady walks up to us with a baggie in one hand and like a coat checking ticket in the other hand and said, phones, please. Huh? The fuck? You want my phone? You want to literally like take my phone in your hand? And she goes, yeah, and turn it off.
Oh, I forgot about the turning off part. And mind you, if you guys are watching, which I hope you are, on YouTube, Almost Rich, Almost Famous, Betsy's face that she just made, like, say, what?
Mad.
She did that to them. I'm like, yeah, sorry, yeah, she's not used to this.
Don't apologize for me. Don't ever apologize for me. Like, if I'm making that face, it's because they deserve that motherfucking face.
Yeah, and you were scary.
I was like, what do you mean? Like, duh. Like, no, you can't have my phone. What the fuck? Like, I have people. Like, I have people I got to talk to.
Yeah,
and she's like, no, if you're going into this party, I need to take your phone.
Mind you, Betsy's looking at me at this point, and she's like, Bridget, let's just go. I'm like, oh, my phone's already checked. I'm like, I'm ready to go.
Bridget handed her phone over immediately. Okay, thanks. Thanks for letting me in.
Betsy was. She's like, Bridget, we're getting out of here. We're like above this, and I'm like, phone's already checked for me. Bets just like take one for the team, and I'm like, Betsy, we're about to meet Maine. Like, this is our chance. We don't get to see him very often. This is our chance to meet with Maine. Do it. She's like, oh, fuck, all right.
So literally, I have all these thoughts going through my head at this point. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to hand this woman my phone. I'm going to come back up here in about 20 minutes to check to see if I have any texts. Like, you know, I have like a real life happening at home. Like, what if Sunny needs me? I don't know. My mom calls me, like slips over the dog and like needs me to come over. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, you know, like I don't just like hand over my phone easily. I think at this point, we're all very used to having our phones.
Right.
So so the girl literally, I just need everyone to envision this, hands us the ticket, ziplocks our phones, and files them. So at this point, there are probably like 50 other phones. And I'm thinking, what kind of losers would hand their phones over? Like, this is fucking crazy.
Well, we were one of them.
Well, because you made me.
And then we're walking in. So mind you, this is a very big venue. It's a very big event. Yeah. Because, again, Maine is a Maine guy.
Yeah.
So then we're like, oh, welcome, ladies. And they give us drink tickets. And we're like, okay, well, at least we don't, like, pay for shit while we're here. Hopefully there's food down there,
I mean, it's the least they could do.
Yes. So then we go down there, and they're like, okay. And, like, what could you like? I think you order a glass of champagne. I'm, like, ordering a skinny margarita. I'm like, oh, no. The drink tickets are only for this specific alcohol because not Maine, but Train or Bane, they're trying to promote this. And we're like, no, but I don't want that. I don't drink that.
Like that's like some bullshit. No one wants to drink that.
I'm like, oh, well, there's a bar around the corner where you can pay.
Fine, you motherfuckers.
So Betsy at this point is like,
I'm like,
Bridget.
I don't care. Like, we're getting this champagne that we want.
And Betsy, so her mood is getting like more and more irritated as things happen. So I got her to check the phone. Correct. Then we get the drink tickets. Felt a little bit better. Then we can only drink a specific alcohol with those tickets. So she's getting a little bit more fired up. Mm-hmm. So then we go to the bar. We order some champagne. Like, well, the only thing we have by the glass is like Dom Perignon. It was something outrageous.
Yeah.
And Betsy's like, fuck
Great.
it. I'll take it. And that's when she looks at me and I'm like, oh, she's got the face. She's scared. Like, she's about to be scary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you're in a bad mood, but it's going to be worth it when we get our chance with Maine. And she goes, Bridget, I am mortified. I am fucking mortified. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, we're at this level. I'm like, okay, well, what? Because I don't know when we're going to be in the same town as Maine ever again.
Yeah.
So we got the champagne and we look around and we're like, whoa. This is the first time in my life that I ever felt extremely out of place and like a grandma.
Yeah, and why would you ever feel that way, Bridget? What happened?
Well, they say that it's only girls, it's definitely only girls. But when I say girls, I mean girls.
Like girls of a very specific age.
I'm thinking maybe not even 21.
Yeah.
But they're wearing their Forever 21 dresses.
Sure did.
Which, you know, I'm all about going back
did.
to 2010, 2012 and busting out a little Forever 21 dress. But they all look the exact same. And they're all just looking around like, okay, when is everybody coming? Like, ready to go. And I'm like, I'm just here to talk to Maine.
Talk to Maine.
I'm trying to here to talk to Maine. I want them to help take off Almost Rich, Almost Famous. And then we got to get out of here.
So there was a moment while we were standing in the venue that I was like, I want to hide in the bathroom, like in a stall. I want to sit on a stall until Maine gets here. Because like the thought of having to be, and mind you, I have no problem with 20-something women. I have no problem with Forever 21. I just don't belong there. Like, not that I'm better than that. I'm just past it. Like,
yeah.
I did Forever 21. I did the groupie party. Like, I did that. Like, I was in it. Like, I did it for years at 20, 21, 22, 23. Like, but like, I'm not there anymore. So literally seeing these like girls who are like fixing their hair, they're talking to the bartender. Literally at one point, Bridget and I are sitting at the bar.
Oh.
And one of like the girl, like the bartender has like her little friends, which again is very sweet. These girls are young. And I hope to God one of these bitches got chose that night. I swear to God, I hope they did. But the one looks at the bartender and she goes, are you excited? Are you nervous?
And she was like, I mean, I'm so nervous. Like, I've never been around this like amount of famous people. Like, I'm so nervous when they walk in. Like, what if I mess up their drink? Betsy and I are looking at each other and we're like, we're trying to get a business meeting with them.
I know.
And that's when I knew we actually are Almost Rich, Almost Famous, because rewind 10 years ago, we'd have probably been that same way. But now we're like, no. Now we're doing business with these people and they're going to help take our podcast to the next level.
Right.
So Betsy's point was, I shouldn't have to have my phone taken away from me.
No, because and this is what I get. What did I say to you? What did I keep saying to you?
I don't know. Tell me.
I'm a real ass bitch.
Oh.
I'm a real ass bitch who doesn't need to do this dumb ass shit.
See, psychoness coming out.
No, like I'm still mad about it. I'm still so fucking mad about it. Like, okay, like if Maine invites us, like, hi, like we don't need you to take our phone. Like, what do you think we're gonna do? Like, we're gonna like try to take selfies. Like, we're gonna try to like take photos of like dude hugged up in the corner with some bitch. Like, I actually don't care what you're doing. Like, but this is like I can't even think of a word more than mortifying. It was like it was demoralizing. Oh. Like, I felt like I've just never been in a situation where I felt so low. And I was like, yeah, no.
And the difference is the girls that were invited. So Maine probably said, hey, listen, I am bringing Maine, Train, Bane, Kane. Yeah. Like, you know, all of the Maine people. I am bringing all of them here. They only want girls there. Do your work. And so the club owner is the one that found all these girls. The difference was we were invited by the club.
Correct.
They probably don't know us at the club. But guess what? Maine does. And Maine said, I want you guys to come. So in my mind, I'm like, I get it. In Betsy's defense, it was, we weren't invited by the club to be one of the girls to get chosen. Right. We have a direct relationship. He told us to come. This is the spot we're going to talk. I feel like I did a little bit better with the situation than you did.
You did so much better.
Because I still wear Forever 21 dresses, and I was a little jealous of some of their outfits. I'm like, damn, I want that dress.
And I just want to be very clear. I don't find Forever 21 to be offensive. But I also like take the girls wearing Forever 21, take their phones. You don't know what somebody who's wearing Forever 21 is liable to do. Right? You don't but me, like, just, okay, I'm cool. Just like, let's relax. Everyone fucking relax. So Bridget and I are like, I'm like trying to get out of my mood. I'm like, all right, just like relax, get your shit together. We go back upstairs. I ask the girl, I'm like, hey, can I see my phone for a minute? I try to sneak that shit back in my purse, walk back into the club. This bitch follows me. Follows me and is like, hi, I saw you actually just put your phone back in your bag. Can I have that? Can you mind your business? Actually is what you should be doing.
Her business was phone checking. She took her job very seriously.
Business.
She took her job very seriously, and bitch was on it. She was good.
Oh my God. She was like a real tyrant about the phones. So anyway, needless to say, we did not get our phones into the party. We did, however, get to talk to Maine, which was truly
all worth it.
Which was truly worth it.
So stay tuned. Who knows? But we might be changing the podcast name to Already Rich, Already Famous sooner than we think. Well, if we get the follow-up meeting with Maine.
I really hope so, because that was like worth it. Like, that's like my worst. If I could picture hell for me, that's hell. Like somebody taking my phone. Like, that's, Bridget, like, you want to be famous. You want people to like want to take photos with you and like know who you are. I just want to be able to take my phone into the club.
Well,
just, like, leave me alone.
But it's like a level of fame where you don't have trust for people. Like, maybe when we're at that level, we'll say the same thing. Like, listen, like, say it's like a welcome home party to Cleveland or something, where we're so big. I'm like, okay, yeah, we want to like run out a club and like invite people, but like check their phones because I don't want like any funny business going on.
But like what? See, so this is the other thing we can get into. What kind of like circus is going on in this club that your phone needs to be taken?
Because I'm thinking about it. If we had a welcome home party, I'd want everyone taking all of the damn photos and videos and posting about it to be like, yes, we're back.
And like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I certainly don't want my photo taken like out of somebody asking me, but like, who cares? Like, imagine how many times you're in the background of a photo. Like, what kind of shit? And I'm saying what kind of shit goes on, but we know what kind of shit goes on because we
saw it. And now I understand why the phone's taken away. They're actually pretty smart.
So the whole thing, it makes sense. It all makes sense. But I don't feel like it like our phone should have been taken. And it almost was like I initially, when that was said earlier in the night, I was like, oh, that's so funny.
Not us.
And like, they literally, like, you guys, like, picture like a coat room. Like, our phones were in a fucking coat room and we had tickets to claim our phones. Like, it's just, oh.
I mean, needless to say, I did not find a date at this party. Not that I was looking, but it seemed like a lot of other girls were. But we were like, we're here for business. We got to go.
Although I will say, and we need to get to your dating life because we have a major update as far as that's concerned. But like, you did want to stay. And after we talked to Maine, I was like, okay, cool. Well, like, nice to see everybody. And so literally we made our rounds to say bye to everyone. And I was like, bye, Bane. And Bridget was like, well, Betsy wants to leave, but I want to stay. And Ben is like, Betsy, like, why don't you guys just stay? I'm like, because I'd rather fucking die, actually. I want to leave. And Bridget's like, oh, man, she's so mean. So then we'd go to Lane down the way. And Bridget'd be like, well, Betsy is making me leave. Like, and fucking stay.
She did. She finally snapped. It was like, yeah, bitch, I am leaving. You stay. Go hang out with all the 20-year-olds. I was like, okay, mom's mad. Yep, time to go. Bye, guys. Bye, Bane, Lane, Kane, Jane. I'll see you guys soon.
And truly, I feel like it was a good look. Had we stayed, first of all, you're not fucking anyone anyway.
Nope.
That's what that party was about. It was about girls who were going to fuck these dudes. And guess what? You're not one of them.
Nope, sure wasn't.
Well, I
know. Be one of them. Yep.
But I knew that. So, like, what's the point to even
guess
stay?
What? There was a good DJ playing good music. I was into it.
That actually is true. That's like why you wanted to stay. You're a total psychopath.
If there's good music and it's like a club scene, like, my body is just like, oh, God, yeah. Let's just like dance. Like,
can't your body do that at your home?
I mean, yeah, but it's just hard for me to get out of that situation when I'm in that atmosphere where like all eyes could be on me and I could put on a show dancing, and it's just like, oh, to drag me out of there was tough. Yeah,
it was tough to the point like you were trying to like shame me in front of like these people. You're like, well, Betsy wants to leave. I did. And also, I like wanted to whisper to them, by the way, she's not fucking none of your friends. So like, she has to go anyway.
Sure, I'm not fucking anyone ever.
No,
so.
ever in your life.
No.
Okay, so what? Give us so we actually need to we need to come up with like a catchy name for this segment.
Yeah.
Because we've really realized that people love your dating updates or lack thereof dating updates, but you actually have one for us today. So if you guys actually have suggestions for what this segment should be called, please send them to one of our DMs, almostrich_almostfamous, because we're gonna update you guys every single episode.
Yes. So this one, I mean, again, it's not too exciting, but I'm trying
it is.
I'm trying to just broaden my horizons.
Yeah.
So we went through a couple episodes back. If you've missed it, again, you can listen to Almost Rich, Almost Famous anywhere you get your podcast, or subscribe to our YouTube page, Almost Rich, Almost Famous. I went through a checklist of things that I would like to have in a partner. And I've come to realization, I know I'm not going to get a guy that checks all of these, but if majority, great. So recently...
Okay, so let's just say you have 10. Let's say you have 10 items on the list.
Yeah.
What are you okay with? What number of items that you check off, are you okay with?
6.
Okay, I think 6 is an appropriate number. It's better than average.
I mean, last year I'd probably said 8, but I'm getting older, so all right, let's just. I guess I could deal with this.
Time is ticking.
I guess I could deal with an age difference. I guess I could maybe deal with one kid.
Oh shit!
I don't know.
Okay, like
whatever,
like a wife, a girlfriend, whatever. I mean, oh well. You're gonna get next episode. You're gonna be at fucking 4.
I sure hope not. Or I'd rather just be single forever. So. Okay, so social media is an interesting game. I like social media to post pictures of Betsy and I, to promote our podcast, pictures of me hosting pageants, whatever. However, I've come to realization that it's also a way to reach out to people that you want to reach out to because everyone has access to anyone.
Right.
So it's easy to slide into a DM. So I noticed probably a couple of weeks back that I had someone following me on Twitter for I don't even know how long, but it's like it's a recognizable name. We'll just put it that way.
Well, let's give him a name.
Like a fake name? Yeah, we're giving a fake name.
Yeah.
We'll call him...
Rob.
I don't know. Rob's in the room, so I just thought of Rob.
I don't like Rob.
Okay. Well, I like Rob. But...
not to be confused with Rob Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Our guy.
Okay, what?
I don't know.
Jim. Chad. Curtis. Curtis, you love that name. She actually hates Curtis.
Bridget was talking about a dude named Curtis today, and I was like, I have a real problem with a white dude named Curtis. I just do.
And I said, why?
It's just like an inherent problem I have with a white dude named Curtis. So let's name him Curtis. I think that's
great.
best.
I mean, I think it's appropriate since you don't like Curtis.
Great. Okay.
So, anyways, it's a recognizable person. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. I'm not, mind you, I wasn't even following him. And I'm like, well, when did he follow me and how did I not recognize this? Well, I'll give him a little follow back. Mm-hmm. Well, once I gave the follow back, this is on Twitter, by the way.
Floodgates.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of likes to Twitter. And I'm like posting stupid things like tune into ESPN Cleveland. I'm on at 4. Like, oh, you're really into that? You're into ESPN Cleveland show? Cool. No, you're not.
Into it.
Yeah, you're not. So I'm like, all right, he's trying to get noticed.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking, I'm like, well, he's a pretty attractive guy. He's recognizable, but he's been recognizable.
Yeah.
So let me Google him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, he's 42.
Oh, and that is out of your age range.
Out of my age range.
Yeah. Would you cut the shit off typically at 40?
I mean, I would like to stay within the
38?
3s, 38, 39, 39, really pushing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw that. I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, well, I don't know. He is pretty cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't
bod. I mean,
the body.
The bod of a 28-year-old.
So then I go on Instagram. I wanted to see more well, what does he look like nowadays?
Yeah.
So I go on Instagram and I'm like, oh shit, that body. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, I see follow back. I'm like, oh my God, he's following me on Instagram too. So of course I give the follow back. Well then, so I don't like this new feature on Instagram. Before, if you want to reply to someone without actually typing something out, you could react, which you still can. Heart eye, fire emoji, clapping, 100.
Right.
You could do that. Well, now you
100.
can. I've never done that, but it's like a thing. But now you can like stories.
Right.
Have you done that?
I haven't, but people like my story. I actually can't figure out how to like something, and I don't want to have to figure it out.
Neither.
I'll just tap it. I don't know.
That's me too. So I'll look and it'll be I see the top people and I'll have little hearts, and so it's them liking my story. I'm like, I don't like this because you can't reply to it. So if someone reacts to my story with a fire emoji, I can double tap hey, I saw this. Thanks so much for giving me a fire emoji. When they like your story, you can't respond.
Right. And do you typically respond when somebody likes your shit?
If someone does a reaction and I know them, they follow me, I'll either like or be like, oh,
okay.
sweet, thank you.
Okay, so he is just consistently liking your stuff.
Once I gave the follow back. So again, I
Yeah.
don't know how long he was following me. Never
Yeah.
heard from him. But then once I gave the follow back, then
Yeah.
it's like, I want it to be known,
yeah.
and hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
So he went through and liked a couple of recent photos of mine. That's number one, usually how people try to get the attention.
They want you to know that they have seen you and they like it. So
And,
like, are these past photos or these like more recent?
More recent.
Okay.
So like went through like an Irish dancing video, which I appreciated
Okay.
him liking that. Thank you. That's a big part of my life.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. So he's getting in because he's liking something you like. Okay.
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
you like a bathing suit photo?
No, actually, he liked one.
He's trying to be discreet.
One
I
of us
see.
from All Star Game.
Great. I like her and her friend. They look nice together.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So he's playing all his cards right. I'm like, all right. Hasn't slid in and said anything creepy.
Yep.
The photos that he's liking are very appropriate.
Mhm.
I'm the one that gave the follow back. So now he's like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe I have a chance. She
Yeah.
followed me back.
Yep.
So, but then he's liking the stories. I'm like, well, listen, I don't know how to like do anything about this because I can't
Right. You can't respond.
like it back.
Right.
And he's not posting any stories for me to like.
Correct.
So I'm like, well, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
So I go out of town and I'm texting Betsy. I'm like, all right, dude is like, he's coming on real strong with the likes.
With the likes.
Like from Twitter to Instagram, it's like I went back to my phone and it was like, Curtis, like. I'm like, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
Like, well, what? Like, say something.
Yeah.
And so Betsy's like, well, why don't you just say hi? Okay.
Well, and initially, I just want to be very clear. I told you to just say like hand wave, hi. Like that's the move, you know, like hi, I'm here, hey.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's old. He won't even know what that means. I'm like, bitch, he's fucking 42. Relax. It's not like he's 70. Like, just give him a little wave.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so did you give him the wave?
Give a little wave.
Great.
Boom. Starts chatting.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Replying to the stories, asking about this. Well, here's my cell number. Like, we'll have to connect. You know, sometimes I come to Cleveland. You should come here. I'm not going to give where he lives. And I'm like, great. Again, not being creepy at all. Like, asking about, like, my life. He's like, okay, so I see you're here. What are you doing? I was in Kentucky. So he's like, oh my God, I see you're in Kentucky. Like, what are you doing there? Oh, like hosting this. Oh my gosh, great. How did you get involved with like hosting pageants? I see you work for ESPN Radio. Like, being normal.
So they're all okay. So these are all normal questions, but I also have to ask, how many times can somebody like something of yours, like in a row, before you think they're creepy? Is it like, oh, they go back in like 2 of your photos? Is that creepy? Somebody goes back in like 10 of your photos. Okay, you're really pushing it. Like,
Yeah.
You're really. Is it like 10? Is
I
that
feel
the
like
number?
if you like more than 3 photos, I think you're a little weird.
Okay. Okay.
And even if they were like, I would say if you liked 5, but they're my 5 most recent. Okay, you just went through.
Yeah, you look
But
great.
when people go back to like 2017 and my
Oh,
bikini
yeah.
photo from like Myrtle Beach with my
Uh-huh.
family, like, what are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. When they go back that far, they don't want the person they're with to see that they liked.
Oh,
Yeah. They don't want the person they're with to
Mm.
see that they liked your photo. So they go all the way back because they're like, hey, I want to be noticed, but I don't want to be noticed at the top like 6.
See, Betsy, you get it. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
by the way, people that are like have high status and recognizable and celebrity, whatever. Typically, they've already got someone. Me, I'm so naive. I'm like, oh wow, he just seems so great.
So sweet. He likes this photo from 2012. He thought I looked really sweet in my Irish dancing video. No, he's a fucking pervert.
No, if they were, but when they go far back, I do think it's weird. But the recent, I don't. So, anyways, I'm like thinking, I'm like, I know he like doesn't check all of my boxes. He's way out of my age range. He's
Number
got
1.
kids.
2.
Long distance, which really that's not a checklist. I kind of like long distance actually.
I have
So-
something I want to add to this list.
Okay, yeah, what?
I like he has a great body. Like
Yeah.
like an insane body.
Yeah.
But like he has like a
Oh god.
a bulging vein situation that I don't like.
Wait, what?
I feel
Hold
like
on.
in every photo, he's like super buff, you know, and he has like these bulging veins, which I'm not interested in. You know what I'm talking about. I know you
I
do.
actually have never noticed them.
Really? You're the most critical person of all time.
I love muscles,
you
though.
didn't notice his veins popping out of his fucking arms?
No, I probably looked and was like, oh god, he's real
Ew,
muscular.
that's so sick.
Yeah, I didn't notice that
Okay,
part.
well that does not
Well,
check
I'm
a box
sure he
for
has
me.
other like boxes that I don't know him. Like,
Right,
but
correct.
just from like conversations, didn't like any inappropriate photos. Not that I
Okay.
have any inappropriate photos. Never asked anything inappropriate. Was
Right.
literally having a legit conversation.
Right.
So I tell Betsy, I don't know. I think he might be worth meeting.
Yeah.
And he said that he might be doing some business in Cleveland soon. I mean, it's worth like getting a drink or dinner
Yeah,
with
for
him.
sure.
And Betsy's like, yeah, great. She's like, and if it doesn't work out in that realm, he's a recognizable name. We'll get him on the
Yeah,
podcast.
great.
Perfect. So everything's going great. So then he lets me know he's going out of town this week or whatever. And he's like, but, I'm going to try to work it out to hopefully come to Cleveland sometime at the end of April. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, keep me posted. Where are you going out of town? Oh, I'm like going somewhere tropical. It's going to be great. I actually have some time to relax, no work.
Right.
Awesome. And I was like, well, I'm really jealous. I need a vacation. He goes, well, why don't you join? Obviously joking. But what would happen if I said like, all right, well, cool, I want to come.
Well, he knew you weren't.
Yes.
But it was like in the moment, it was like cute, like, oh, you should come. Like, oh, I can't, but like, we'll talk when you're back.
Yes,
right?
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, well, can't do that, but we'll see you when you get back. He's like, great. Okay, so that's the end of that. So then I'm on Instagram. And he posts a story. Wow, I've never seen you post a story ever. The last time he posted was from like September of 2021. Like, dude just doesn't post a lot.
Yeah.
So I see he has a story. Oh, great. Let me see what this is. Just a selfie of him and the babe. In somewhere tropical. And I'm like,
maybe it's a sister.
You know,
you never know.
It crossed my mind, but I was like, that's interesting. Okay, whatever. So then another photo comes up a couple hours later on the story. Just a very provocative photo of her on the beach.
Cousin.
I'm like, why is he posting an ass photo of his sister on this tropical vacation?
Very weird.
Seems weird. I'm like, okay, well, another one bites the dust, apparently. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And I'm just thinking, obviously he knows I'm seeing his story.
Correct.
Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm never going to meet with you. But maybe girls do. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then Betsy and I are out. I post the stupidest story. It's not like stupid, but it's of food. Like, we're not even in it. And it's just, my food looked great. So I post a little story of it immediately. But the story was not even up for a full 2 minutes. Replied, wow, that looks amazing. Heart eye emoji. I'm like, you are in this like tropical place with a babe. Why are you on Instagram, number one? And number two, what are you doing replying to my story?
I mean, I have so many theories.
Oh.
I have so many theories about this because I think that he could be thinking, all right, well, it's not like she didn't know that I have like a girl. Like, he had to at some point tell you without telling you, I suppose. Like, I have a girlfriend. And so like you see it now. And if you still want to talk, you can still talk, I mean, unfortunately for him, I'm sure that there are a lot of women who are cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're not one of them. But like shut up. Like
well, if he just never said anything to me like ever again, like great. He's probably testing me like, okay, she sees these stories. I wonder if like she'll like say anything or like because he ended up posting a photo on his page, but it was just him and the dude. They were with like a couple.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you had to swipe to see like the girls.
Oh yeah.
So
you
on the main,
put that on the main. Yeah.
So on the main, it's just him and the dude. So maybe he was like, well, she didn't like it, which of course I didn't. So maybe he thought if I liked it, then he'd be like, okay, now she knows. She still wants to meet. Well, when I come to Cleveland, great. But I didn't like it. So then he replied to the story. I'm like, that was your mistake. You shouldn't have replied to my story.
Well,
like,
but Bridget,
weird.
he could also, like, if we confronted him right now and we said, Curtis, like, what were your intentions with this? He would say, well, I just like wanted friends in Cleveland. So like when I come to Cleveland, I wanted to just like hang out and meet. And like based on everything that's happened on Instagram, it could tell that story.
For sure.
We just know what it really is.
Yes. And that's why I kept saying, I'm like, he's playing it right. I'm like, well, whatever. Maybe he just wants to be a friend. But I'm thinking, all right, if I'm dating someone, I would not want my significant other going through and liking a babe's photos and stories and like really letting it be known at all. Because obviously he had another intention, was just like waiting to see if I bit.
He was.
Saying? Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I think you made that up. I don't know, but he could. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But like he could say like,
He's
but I didn't do it. Like
seasoned veteran.
He obviously has been in the game for a minute. He knows.
Pun intended.
That's literally like what it is on Instagram. Like I have gotten. Obviously I am in a very serious relationship, but I feel like I get people who reach out who are like, they just like want to know, like, are you cool with this? Cause like, if you're cool with this, like I'm cool with this kind of thing, So I feel like that was his like weird roundabout way, like of trying to figure out like what you were going to be in for. Cause like, does he really care about you in a fucking pageant dress? Like, does he really? Like, wow, does he really care about your baked Alaska you got last night, which is the dessert we had?
Oh,
like, no, he doesn't.
No.
That looks really good. Well, you know what looks good? Like, you're in a tropical area. I'm sure you're eating a very lovely dessert. I know you don't give a fuck about my dessert here. Like, relax, guy.
And also, it just goes to show, like, okay, are people actually happy? Like, literally, Betsy, I posted that. It wasn't even a full 2 minutes up, and he already replied. I'm like, why are you on, number one, why are you on your phone? And number two, why are you reaching out to me when you've got a babe right next to you in a tropical place? Just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense.
All right, so you're going to give us the update next time on where this whole situation went.
I'm curious to see when he gets back from the vacay, if he reaches out and says like, hey, I'm coming to Cleveland for business or whatever. I'm going to be like, okay, I don't know what my response is going to be. Like, sure, I would love to meet up and like,
I'd love to meet up at 1301 East 9th Street in the Galleria so we can put you on one of these microphones and question the shit out of like what the fuck you're doing. Actually, that's like the best case scenario. I would love to get him on to see like, all right, so what were your thoughts behind doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
because I actually do want to get inside of a guy's mind. Like, I know how like we operate. You know me, I'm not really good at like shooting the shot. Like me even just like waving was like a big deal. So, like, guys, obviously, that was maybe his way of shooting the shot by starting at the liking, the following, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I want to know too. Like, how do you do this like daily? Is it out of boredom, or like how did you find me? How long have you been following me? Do you follow a lot of babes and then you just kind of wait for the moment? Like, okay, they noticed me. Now I'm gonna start liking. Like, I really want to get inside of a guy's brain.
All right, we should really recruit somebody who like is good at the Instagram game and get them on and like find out the ins and outs.
Well, maybe it'll be him. Maybe it'll be Curtis.
I love that idea.
I love that idea too. Hopefully, I have some better news when it comes to my dating game for the next podcast, but. I don't know. We do have like some other events coming up. You know, I don't like to meet people on the social media time, and this like proves why.
This is exactly why. You think your life's bad? Do you know who really is like living a shitty existence currently?
I think I do.
Those Smiths are really like going through it.
Pinkett Smiths.
So.
I'm surprised she didn't make him like take her last name with how like she's like a puppet master with him.
Okay, so I actually don't even want to talk about them specifically because I hate her. I actually have always hated her, by the way. So what we're referring to, obviously, like if you've been living under a rock, then you wouldn't know what's going on. But Will and Jada Smith have been like going through it for some time now. And we had just seen the Oscars, which, by the way, is one of my favorite events of the entire year. I watch every single Oscar-nominated film. Like, I am so into it. And these motherfuckers stole the show when Will Smith goes up there and slaps Chris Rock for making a fucking stupid joke about Jada's hair. Like, it was ridiculous. Okay, so that's all one part. I just want to talk about, like, those sorts of relationships, like those toxic relationships, because again, we can talk about like every aspect of theirs. You know, this bitch Jada has this red table talk where she airs out all their business. And so
why he sits there and cries.
I know, but like I feel like that's so emasculating. Like I feel so bad even talking badly about him, but she is like a puppet master. Have you ever been in a situation like that where there is like a dating like puppet master, like you have a very toxic relationship?
Well, yeah, my main relationship I was in for 100 years of my life, it was like we're both fighting to be the puppet master. Like that's what it was.
That's some shit that doesn't work.
Talk about toxic.
These two aren't fighting. Jada's the one. Jada's the one in this situation.
Well, I think like, so, you know, my ex tried to be the puppet master, which we've talked about. So like Betsy and I were always doing something. And like Sonny, like bless his heart, like he is just the most supportive person in the world. Is like, go for it, girl. Is like, I believe in this podcast. So my ex would pretend to be like that. Like, yes, I'm with Sonny, go. And then we'd get there, my phone would be blowing up. Wait, I saw your so-and-so is there. Did he slide into your DMs? Is this happening? I'm like, and then you just end up ruining the time that I'm there. So I'm like, so you gave me permission, which I'm putting in quotes because no one gives me permission to do anything. But like you act like you're cool with it, but then you ruin my time while I'm there. So then when he would do that, I would do the same. I'm like, no, don't try to like act like you're going to control me. Two can play this game. So I'll do the same shit to him. Like, oh, I'm going to Vegas with the guys. Okay, have fun. Then I'm like, hey, so it's me again. Like,
oh my God.
I would like ruin my own life to ruin his life because he ruined my life the week before. And so it was just like us fighting, like who's gonna get control. And then finally it was just like, all right, you suck. We gotta end this shit. So I get like Will. I just saw in that moment where he laughed at the joke, looked at her, she gave him the look, and he's like, okay, yep. I just avoid a fight tonight because I laughed. I'm gonna go and slap Chris Rock.
Seems a little dramatic. Like I think it also just seems like everything that you're saying. So, like, getting off of Will and Jada, because, like, I don't fucking care about them. Like, your situation before, and I could never live in this. Like, when somebody is so insecure, it's so unattractive. It's literally, like, if I could choose one thing in somebody that's like the most disgusting, unattractive quality, it's somebody who's insecure. It's so gross. It's the biggest, like, I am never fucking you if I feel like you're insecure. Like, it's so gross.
And because I became so toxic with the other toxic half, what you just did, I think I said to him, I'm like, you're pathetic. You are the most insecure person I've ever met in my entire life. And I would like go on this like mean stretch, and then he would come back with something even meaner, and then I'd be like, you're mean. I'd cry and like leave.
Well, I think that's why it probably didn't work.
Yeah, but I feel bad for Will because he keeps saying like, I don't believe in divorce. So I'm like, but you're miserable. And like literally she came on a red table and said like, yep, I fucked this guy, I fucked that guy, and yep, you weren't doing shit. What? That's what made him snap, was the G.I. Jane joke?
Yeah. So, okay. So just to give the people a little background, Jada has the show Red Table Talk with her mother and her daughter. And she goes on this little talk show where literally, like, she gives the world information about her life. Okay. So you can't be mad when people are making jokes about your life because you've given them all the ammunition. So, like, you know, if somebody like said some shit to us about information we've already put out, like, sorry, that's what you get. Like, you put yourself on a public platform. Yep. So I just think, like, if you've given the ammunition for that, you're going to get it back. And mind you, she's only said she slept with one dude, which Will came back and said, like, just so you guys know, oh my God, this like makes me so sad. Just so you guys know, Jada's not the only one that's like been in extramarital situations. Like, well, it's so, bless your heart. It's so sweet, but it's also like
you haven't done anything. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, he like had a couple hits back in the day.
No, I meant he hasn't done anything. Like, I don't think he slept with anyone.
Well, no, I'm saying he's had a couple hits. Like, I'm sure some babes would like to sleep with him.
No,
like,
I think they would, but I think he's so like enamored with her for whatever reason that he's not going to.
Oh, it's so great. There is no coming back from that, by the way. Like, Jada looks at him, like when you said you would look at your ex and say you're pathetic, that there's literally, like, you do not want to kiss somebody who you think is pathetic. Like, it's actually just like disgusting.
Yep. So, moral of the story, I think that I'm on the right track of being single because I could be in a relationship like that, or I could be dating a dude that already has a girlfriend in a tropical place, and I'm just the girl he meets in Cleveland. So,
are you okay? Like, you're okay with that if he pays for dinner?
Yeah, I guess
for you and your friend.
I guess if it's good company. I mean, if it's good company and makes for good content, I'm here for it.
It certainly does make for good content. The only thing I think you need to do is like tell him to get that vein situation under control because it's really unattractive.
I don't mind the vein situation. I mean, maybe if you could just like get a little younger, or if like
I know somebody.
Like maybe
Advanced Skin Renewal can get your face all the way together. Like, get those veins like under control. They actually can.
Oh man. All right, well, stay tuned for more updates. Stay up with us on social media, almostrich_almostfamous on Instagram, ARAF_TLOD on Twitter, new on TikTok as well. We're really trying to gain a following there. We're about to edit a TikTok together. We're learning.
We'll be on our phones for the next 75 hours trying to fucking figure out TikTok.
Maybe we'll go talk to our new friends that we met at the event in their Forever 21 dresses. I'm sure they know all about
it.
Cheers.